Milton, can I move to Norway with my family? Can I move with my children? Or can I move with my wife alone? Yes, because I got an admission and I intend to move or to travel with my family, my son, my mother, or my husband. Well, if you want to find out all these informations, stay tuned and make sure you watch this video. But before then, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will be back. So, for those who didn't know that moving to Norway with a family, with a child, the husband, the spouse, or whosoever, as an international student is possible, I am here today to let you know that this is very possible, alright? So, if that is what you have been looking for, make sure you continue to watch this video so that I deliver the material to you in details, alright? So a lot of international students have been asking me if it is possible to migrate to Norway with their families, and I am here today, like I said before, to explain to you detailedly why it is very possible. But know that it is possible for you to move to Norway with your family, but there are certain things you need to understand, alright? If you're an international student who got an admissions in any of the universities in Norway, like the University of Stavanger, the University of Bergen, Norway University, the University of Tromso, the University of Oslo, alright, remember that it is also very important for you to consider your proof of funds. But besides, when you even get the admissions to move to Norway, you are obviously going to get a banking, let me say banking details from your university, because the proof of funds is not done in Norway the same way it's done in other African, or let me say other European countries, alright. Now, basically what happens is, in some other countries you can show proof of funds from your bank account in any country or in your home country, but when you get an admissions in Norway or in Norwegian university, the university is going to put banking details or details for you to transfer the money into this account in Norway, alright. You can only produce proof of funds or show a bank statement from a Norwegian bank. I hope you get the point, not from a foreign bank. So sometimes the university will give you a bank to send the money inside, then they will send you documents that you have deposited this money in this bank in Norway for you to apply for the visa, alright. So literally, if you want to move to Norway with your partner or your children or whosoever, you have to go to Norway first, alright. Then when you get your residence permit, then you can now bring in your family or your husband or your spouse, alright. This is basic just because of the proof of funds, because it is somehow very heavy, and most times immigrations in certain countries will not permit you and your spouse to apply for the visa when you just got the admissions, alright. But if you are already in Norway, it is possible for them to join you as soon as you get your residence permit. Now, you also need to understand that this money needs to be in a Norwegian bank, like I told you before, and it must be in certain, let me say, there is a particular amount that you have to deposit in this bank account, alright, for it to reflect what, or let me say, for it to really reflect or show how the other person is not going to depend more on you. Remember, you are a student, which means that the money you are going to be spending per year, because your proof of funds is going to be for 1 year, so the Norwegian government, or let me say the authorities, wants to see money which is equivalent to, before the money for one person was around 12,000 US dollars, but now it is above 13,000 US dollars, alright. That's 121,213 Norwegian krone. It must have increased anyways, and not all the cities in Norway will give you the same figure. Schools in Norway, let me say, if you get an admissions in the University of Oslo, your own proof of funds or the amount of money that will be asked from you to be deposited in the account given by the University of Oslo will be different from someone who got admissions at Norway University, alright. This is basically because Oslo is more expensive, somehow expensive to stay in than Norway. Or maybe if you have an admission in the Norwegian University of Science and Technology, which is located somewhere in Truden, alright, it's basically cheaper to live in Truden than to live in Oslo. You understand what I mean? So what I was saying is, as a student, or if you want to move to Norway, know that if you move to Norway with your spouse is going to work full-time, alright, but you as the international student, you cannot work full-time. You can only work part-time because of your studies, alright, but your spouse is going to work full-time. But what you need to put into consideration now is the money you are going to be putting in the account, alright. You can move to Norway And of course, you invite your family, all right? You can move to Norway, you invite someone who is not even your wife, all right? To come under you. You can move to Norway, you bring in your husband. You can move to Norway, you bring in your children, all right? But in some other countries, you can as well apply together. When you just got the admissions, you can as well apply together with your husband, all right? I'm not sure this procedure is common in Africa, but some other countries, probably in Asia or somewhere in Africa, which I'm not very sure, may be common, all right? Because I think there are people who have gotten that, all right? But normally the laws is not like that. So you have to first of all move to Norway, then you now supply your proof of funds, or maybe the people who are coming under you will use your proof of funds. Now I'll be explaining some things to you, all right? You as the applicant, or you people as applicants, will need to apply for, or in case the requirements for the person who is referring, all right? If someone is coming under you, there are requirements. If you guys are applying together, there are requirements, all right? And again, understand that if you are bringing your children to Norway, your children, or let me say a child, let me put it that a child, because probably you cannot be bringing children, maybe 1, 2, 3 should be maximum, not 4, all right? If you are bringing a child to Norway, the child should be at least not more than 18 years, and this child should have identification document. Probably the birth certificate has to be there, all right, to show that this person is your child. And again, the child needs to have a passport, but not more than 18 years, all right? You can still bring in children, but if you are bringing one child, the money needs to be different. If you are bringing children, the money needs to double, all right? Now, I will explain to you as the applicant, you as the applicants, what you need to know. First, as a spouse, if you need to bring in your spouse, you need the passport, all right? Or if you guys are applying, you need passports. Again, you must have not been banned from the Schengen zone. What I'm trying to say here is, if you want to invite someone to Norway, or if you want to bring in somebody, that is to say, if you get an admissions and you want to go with your husband, you must not have been banned from the Schengen zone, all right, or from Norway. The reason I'm saying this is because they may not accept if you have a wrong record. There was one time I met someone at the airport. He was running away from Norway because he used some documents which later on in university they almost fished him out because he couldn't participate very well in lectures, and when investigations was opened up, he had some stuff. The lecturers discovered that he was not really good into the course, and when they're trying to find out, they realized that his stuff were faked. So he had no choice rather than to escape, all right, from there. So in that case, he can never enter again because automatically the immigration has blacklisted his name, or maybe his name has been erased from the system. So that's what I mean by you must not have been deported, probably deported from the Schengen zone. And again, when it comes to the proof of funds, remember you are going to be showing money if you are moving together with somebody, because normally if you get an admission, you are supposed to show 121,200 and I think 21 Norwegian krone or something. The money varies, like I told you. But if you are moving with your spouse, all right, you guys have to show 287,270, approximately like that, Norwegian krone. It may vary. This money can be around 30,000 US dollars. It can be around 32,000 US dollars, depending on the exchange rate and the country in which you are. So you should check the exchange rate and in the country where you are. Before I forget, make sure you verify the video description box and check the links down there. Alright, I will put all links down there so that you can also check this information I'm giving you. Yes, like I said, if you are moving with your spouse, that is the money you need to show. Now, if you are moving with another child, or let me say with your spouse and a child, the money needs to double. I hope you understand, because now you are 3 persons, okay? And nobody is going to be living on other person's income or money in no way, right? So what you need to do is, this money is heavy, but you should understand that the money can be your salaries. You can show this money as salaries and also show backup for to prove that you have been earning from this. All right, the money can still be a loan from a bank. You can take a loan from a bank, but do not take a loan with the notion that you want to escape with the money. All right, because a lot of people are doing that, which is not proper. Then again, you should show this money in terms of scholarship. If you have a scholarship in Norway, or a fully funded scholarship in Norway, probably, because a part-time scholarship will not be able to give you this type of money. Remember, it's 13,000, it's 32,000 US dollars and above. So only a fully funded scholarship can give you this amount of money. If you have a fully funded scholarship equivalent to this amount of money, then you do not need to show proof of funds again as bank statement, because the scholarship board will be providing for your will be catering from your stuff, your accommodation, and all the rest, your tuition fee. All right, so that is what you need to know. Again, you also need an application fee. Normally the application fee is going to cost around 800 US dollars or more. All right, it all depends on where you are applying from. Remember, I said you should check based on the country in which you are. If you click the link, you will see that you can easily navigate or change the country. All right, because I think most Nigerians and Cameroonians, this money is almost the same. For Nigerians, it should be around 32,000, Cameroonians as well, but I don't think Europeans or people coming from Asia will have the same amount of money. Just check the link and change the country. All right, then you decide on where to go to. Like I said, application fee is very important. Then again, I already talked about this. Only those who have let me say a valid student residence permit can of course move with their spouse. But like I said, you have to move to Norway first, then your spouse come in. But your spouse is now going to use your bank statement. All right, the bank statement now will be showing this amount of money I mentioned. All right, and you must have a valid residence permit. That is when you are moving with your spouse. For the child, I already mentioned that before. The child should not be more than 18 years, and of course he or she should have a valid identification, or let me say a document to prove that he or she is your child. All right. Yes, also you need to understand that the application period or season in Norway is different for some of the universities. Like the University of Stavanger, I think the application closes just of recent. It's usually sometimes between December, end of December to end of January. All right, but most schools in Norway will start from October to December. So you need to understand all these details and know when to apply, and make sure you always apply as fast as possible, because without application, early application is very good because you can easily know your results. But though most schools will always start processing your application file, all right, only after the admissions deadline, like the Norway University or the University of Tromso. All right, I say so because I've tried this before. The University of Oslo, probably when you are applying, you should also take note that the requirements are different from each universities. All right, and language proficiency is very important as well. Well, most students from Nigeria will not be able to show language proficiency, but even most Cameroonians. But because Cameroon is a bilingual country, French and English, you may be obliged to show the language proficiency to increase your chances. But for students like those coming from South Africa and Ghana, or even Nigeria, they have an advantage. But some schools will state that you must provide this proof of English language, else they will not assess your stuff. So you have to pay attention to these little details. All right, first, if you must move to Norway, again, not first, secondly, or maybe thirdly, if you must move to Norway with your spouse, understand that you guys must be, or your spouse must be 24 years and above. I talked about the child. All right, if you are moving with your child, now is the time for the spouse, because I remember I didn't mention this. Make sure your spouse is 24 years and above, or you guys should be at least 24 years plus before you can move. After that, like I said, the money is going to be heavy, so you can move, then your wife or your spouse join you later. All right, and again, your marriage certificate, remember, it's your spouse, so you guys need to show a valid marriage certificate. What I mean here by valid is it should be true. All right, because there are a lot of fake things. Don't make fake papers, because if you do it, maybe they are going to find out. Of course, they are going to check, so probably they will catch you. Even if they don't catch you, remember I said there is a guy who struggled and moved in, but within time he was caught. All right, because investigations were open, and I don't know how it happened. So it is always good to present documents that are real documents. All right, when your conscience is clear, your things will be clear and your roots will be clear. All right, so that is what you should understand. Now, let me also draw your attention to the fact that not all the time admissions is open in most of these universities in Norway. All right, somebody was also asking me if it's possible to take part-time jobs, or what are the possibilities of getting a part-time job. Let me tell you, there are some countries in Europe that as an international student, right, you should be able to understand that no matter how it is, you must have a part-time job. First, Germany is 1, Norway is 2, Sweden is 3. If you go to these countries, even if you are lazy, you will obviously get a part-time job, all right? But I want to also assure you that, or explain to you that Europe is not for lazy people, all right? If you are in Europe and you are lazy, you are on your own. I mean on your own, because no one is going to cater for you, all right? Now, the money I mentioned about being put in a school account, all right, that money is in the school account, but when you reach Norway, no one is going to run with your money, all right? When you arrive Norway, they are going to, of course, when you register on campus, you will be able to do your residence permit, and when you do the residence permit, you will be able to get access to apply for a bank account, and when you apply for the account, you will be able to give, or let me say the school will be able to transfer the remaining funds in their keeping into your own bank account. That one is done normally. They will explain everything to you once you arrive on campus, all right? So when the funds are transferred to you, then you can be able to top it up, and you invite your wife or your spouse or whoever, all right? But if you are able to move to Norway at once, showing this amount of money I mentioned, around 32,000 US dollars or more, all right, then you can try. But I know it's going to be impossible, because like I said, I know this law may be applicable in some European places or some Asian countries, because most Europeans don't even need visas to go to Norway. I hope you get the point. So that is what you should understand. You can move to Norway with your wife, your husband, or your child, or your children. Well, the children here, I mean at least 2, all right, not 3 or 4. Well, you may be able to move with 3, but it all depends. Like I said, the procedure varies per country, and again, you need to show heavy sums of money. This is not a joke. Norway is not a joke, all right? They need to see your proof of funds, or they need your money. If you do, that's the reason they always ask you to transfer the funds to them in the account they will give you. Then you send the receipts to them, all right, to verify that. Otherwise, they would have said, show us a bank statement. They know the bank statement, some are not coming from legit sources, all right, some are being faked. So that is why they're asking you to provide all of these documents. I hope this video helps you, and if it does, please do not forget, as usual, subscribe, and make sure you check this information I'm giving you now, because a lot of people don't know about this, all right? Some people have been asking me, a lot of you have asked me if you can move with your family, and I always say no, but I found out this info. So if you didn't apply before, make sure the upcoming application, which starts in October, you should apply as fast as possible, all right? And before you apply, start working the money now, so that when you apply, you just apply for the visa together with your husband and you move, all right? If at all they will accept to process it for you guys, but if not, go and do your residence permit in Norway, then you invite her, all right, he or she. But again, also understand that before you even invite your wife or your husband, your studies must be left at least 1 year. Remember, Norway's master or masters in Norway is 2 years, all right, not more than that. So before you invite somebody, your studies must be at least 1 year. You should have done maximum of 1 year, and you are still left with 1 year, all right? That's only when he or she can be invited. I hope this helps you.